What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another review. This is Solo Leveling, episode 3. Let's get it. So it starts off as Song having a flashback to when he was in a dungeon. He's almost gonna die, but he's getting a notification that, congratulations, he's become a player. A player? And as soon as this notification says he's a player, he wakes up. He's in the hospital, but he's confused to see that all of his body parts are still intact after he almost was killed. And so he goes on to think to himself, was this a game? Was this a dream? This couldn't be real. And as he's surveying his body, to his surprise, he gets a visit from the surveillance team of the Hunters Association. And so as Wu and Kang inform him on what happened after the incident in the dungeon, he's surprised. They let him know that the leader of the raid, he had lost his arm. Joe, he had went crazy. And out of the whole dungeon raid, it was only 6 survivors. They were letting them know that it was rare to have such a tragic event like this happen. But not only that, there was no evidence left for the horrific scene. There was no statues and the temple had disappeared. They let him know that it was only him left, sitting by himself. And they also let him know that they wouldn't believe him if it wouldn't be for the survivors that survived the incident. And basically because everybody who survived had the same story, that they could believe it. But they were really thinking it was all cap. And so next is crazy. He asked Song, you wouldn't happen to have a reawakening, have you? And Song's like, what? A reawakening? And so they go ahead and tell you some of the lore on reawakenings. Basically stating that once a hunter awakens, he stays the same and he keeps that power. But on the rare occasions, if you get a second awakening, a hunter's power is unlimited. He can go from being an E rank, he can go all the way up to an S rank. And so with the surveillance team suspecting something off, they give him a little instrument. It's a mana reader. It shows how much power does a hunter have. So they want to see how much power does he have, because they're confused on how he was able to get through that dungeon, because it was a S rank, A rank beast that they went against. And they were saying, there's no way a low rank hunter like him could have survived it. So they want to see how much power does he have inside of him with this little meter. But to their surprise, his power level is only at a 10. And so after they see this score, they're like, what the? Man, this dude is weak. So they leave. They're like, no, he haven't had a reawakening. And so after they leave, Song is confused like, hey, why didn't they see this? And what he's seeing is these notifications that's popping up like a video game or something. And so he goes back to a flashback of these same notifications happening when he almost died. But he can't figure out what are they? What do they mean? His sister then comes and meet him at the hospital. She starts chewing him out how he always getting hurt, just telling him he need to quit being a hunter. She's just a sister worried about her brother. And as they chatting, he asks her, hey, do you see this little notification here? She's like, what are you talking about? You crazy. So it confirms to him that he's the only one that can see these notifications that pop up. And as he's reading these notifications, it informs him that he's become the player and he has to complete a daily task. He's like, what? So he has to do fitness. He has to do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and run a lot. And it's called daily strength training. And Song's thrown off by it. He's like, what? Man, I'm in the hospital. I can't work out. But the notifications, they tell him, if you do not complete these tasks, there will be a penalty. Moving on, we get back to the surveillance team. Mr. Wu and Kang, they're talking to the head of the association. They're letting them know that they don't believe that Song had a reawakening. And Chairman Go tells them, okay, just put it in the data bank and we'll mark this as a special case. Moving along, one of the guild masters of the Hunters Guild, Choi, he's talking to one of the A-rank hunters, Shahi. He's telling her he wants her to participate in the next B-rank mission so she can help the new recruits out and get them strong so the next time they go to Jeju Island, they'll be ready. Moving along, a dungeon gate suddenly opens in the city. It then goes back to Song. He's abruptly woken up out of his sleep to the game giving him a notification saying that daily strength training is here. And to his surprise, he wakes up in a desert full of giant monster centipedes. And the game notifies him that he has to survive this. And after being chased by these centipedes for like 2 hours, he manages to complete this insane task. And in the next scene, it goes back to one of the healers, Johi. One of the Hunter Association members asking her if she want to participate in a D-rank mission. She tells the association that she doesn't want to participate in it. But as she's talking to one of the Hunter Association members, he lets her know that Sung is woken up from being hurt. So she was like, yes. And she goes and visits him in a hospital. And as she arrived, to her surprise, he's actually up feeling fine and he's exercising and running around the hospital. The nurses tell Johi that he's been like this for a while, saying he has to get stronger. And as Johi sees him running and sees he's working out and getting stronger, she leaves. She don't want to bother him. After running and completing a task for the day, Sung sits to himself and he says to himself, the game rewards him for completing these tasks. One of them is having the ability to fully heal his body after the workout. The second one is the ability to add points to anything he's weak at. So in this case, he adds points to his strength to make him stronger. And the final reward he gets is like a random loot box. And this box gives you a reward at random. And in this case, he gets a special key. And as he's surprised, he sees that the key goes to an instant dungeon. As we move along, it goes to the scene of him visiting his mom in the hospital. It goes back to a flashback to when he found his mom asleep and she's not able to get up. And when he goes to the hospital to see what has happened to her, she's got the internal sleep disease, a rare disease that's believed to be caused from constant exposure to mana. So she's basically in a deep sleep and she can't wake up. And then it goes into another flashback of him becoming a hunter and him having to be a hunter because he wants to cure his mom's sleep disease, so he has to work. After the brief flashback, he gets the courage and he goes into the instance dungeon. And as he entered the instance dungeon, he runs into some magical beasts, goblins, and they're trying to kill him. He's nervous and he's kind of scared. He's thinking back to his previous failed missions and how he was always a loser. After doubting himself, he goes against the goblins and he actually defeats them. He thinks to himself, man, I've gotten stronger. And just as he celebrates this small little win, out of nowhere, a new magical beast appears. It's a wolf. And he can tell that this one is way more powerful than the goblins. What will he do? Can he defeat it? And so it's Sung against this magical beast, this crazy wolf. And so Sung has his new foe, this wolf. And after that, that's pretty much the end of the episode. All right, guys. This is episode 3 review. Be prepared for episode 4. Like and subscribe. Thank you.